It's not creatine. In fact, unlike creatine where I felt like I put on this unnecessary water weight muscle, this stuff I felt like yielded me real, hard, dense muscle. But only when I took it at maximum dose. Little secret actually, I took it at twice the maximum dose. What is it? Let's get into it and some of the side effects I experienced. But you gotta focus. So what then is this mysterious white powder? Well, it's called hydroxymethylbutyrate, also known as HMB. Now, if you haven't heard of this before, you might be thinking like, oh, is that some kind of new selective androgen receptor modulator or something even crazier? And if you have heard about this before, then you might be like, bro, wait, isn't that just a junk supplement? Get that out of here. Well, hold on a second. I'm here to tell you, I really felt like I had some undeniable benefits when taking this at max dose and beyond. But before we get into my experience, I want to go over what the bro science argument is for why HMB might work so well when it comes to muscle growth. So, first of all, what is hydroxymethylbutyrate? Well, it's actually produced naturally by the body when the body breaks down leucine. Leucine, you may have heard of, is, one of the Mac Daddy branched chain amino acids, the one that many claim and many studies have shown is responsible for muscle growth, hypertrophy, muscle strength, right? Now, leucine is thought to stimulate this muscle anabolism, if that's a word, muscle growth, muscle strength, through the mTOR pathway. Now, studies on HMB and the science behind HMB also claims that HMB might stimulate muscle growth through the mTOR pathway. Now, this is where the bro science argument comes into play. You see, the thought is maybe it's the HMB from the breakdown of leucine that is responsible for the muscle anabolic response. And if that is the case, why even take leucine? Why not just jump to HMB? Now, there are arguments going the other way. Maybe leucine breaks down into other stuff. Maybe it has other signaling properties, blah, 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 blah. But let's just assume that is the case, right? When leucine is broken down into HMB, based on the research I found, it seems to only be at about 5%. So what that means is if you take a common dose of like 3 grams of leucine, maybe in your favorite BCAA product, right? Well, 3 grams would yield only about 0.15 grams of HMB based on that 5%. So 3 grams of leucine, 0.15 grams of HMB. If I took 3 grams of HMB, well, that's 3 grams of HMB. That's 20 times more than I would get from taking 3 grams of leucine. So is that 20 times more anabolic? That's the argument. So I came across a bunch of these HMB supplements online, but a lot of them were mixed with other supplements and or flavors, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to get the plain stuff. Found this one by NutriCost. Other ingredients, none. I get this product, I'm excited to take it. I pop the cap off, I remove the safety seal, and then I'm hit with this just like plume of this like pungent BO smell. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh. Ooh. And at first I was extremely worried because it kind of like plumed away and I went to go smell it more and it smelled, it still smelled, but not as intense. And I thought, I had this image in my mind of this guy on the assembly line putting the safety seals on these things. And I'm thinking like, dude, did this guy like not take a shower in like 3 weeks? And then when mine like went by him, like did it drip? Literally, that's what flashed through my mind. What does it smell like to you? Do you smell anything in there?
No.
I swear it's not as potent as it was earlier. Which kind of has me concerned because it's like, is it the powder that smelled like it? Or is it a person who is manufacturing that? Because that would be sick. But I did a quick internet search, does HMB smell like body odor? And I came across a bunch of anecdotes, people saying like it just smells awful. And I thought, oh, okay, so this is normal. All right, great. So anyways, to start out, I thought I would just go Weenie Hut Juniors and just do one scoop, and see how my body reacted to it. So on the first day, I did 1 scoop pre-workout on an empty stomach. I was intermittent fasting this day. In fact, I was also in a lean out phase. But on day 1, just 1 gram and then going into a workout. And going into that workout, I do have to say, it felt good, but nothing extraordinary. Nothing I could be like, oh wow, I feel absolutely amazing. It just felt like a decent workout. kind of just normal, to be honest with you. But more importantly, I felt like I didn't have any negative effects from this 1 gram supplementation of HMB before my workout. Now, when it comes to side effects, based on what I found on the internet, there really didn't seem to be any big side effects. At most, when taking at higher dosage, it seemed, the typical gastrointestinal discomfort, gas, bloating, etc. But other than that, I didn't really come across anything serious, at least when taken within the recommended dose range, 1 to 3 grams being maximum. So I thought, you know what, 1 gram, I didn't really notice anything throughout this first workout. Let me bump it up to the maximum dosage recommendation of 3 grams per day. I decided to take 2 doses in the morning pre-workout and then 1 dose intra-workout moving forward. And then when it was on a rest day, I would just take 3 doses kind of evenly spaced out throughout the day. And I continued this day after day after day. Now, towards the end of the first week, when taking this 3 gram dose now for about 4 or 5 days, all of a sudden, going into my workout, working out upper body, being in a calorie deficit for a while now, all of a sudden I noticed I had this what felt like an increase in strength. Not necessarily like a caffeine strength where it felt like jittery or anything like that, but like a muscle confidence strength. Ever know when you're maybe in a lean out phase, kind of dieting down, and it just feels like you're gonna you're just not confident with a heavy weight that you used to lift maybe when you were bulking. Well, I felt like I just had it like I was bulking almost. And it felt like a smooth motion when I was pressing these weights. A muscle confidence strength. And I remember this was very surprising on this day because I was thinking dude, I'm lighter than I have been all year and I should be feeling kind of weak right now. At least that's how I was feeling last week. And I'm lighter than last week, but I feel muscle confident. I feel strong, you know what I'm saying? And it was like that throughout most of the first working sets per each exercise, because it seemed like when I got more into the exercise, I had an energy drop. I still felt this muscle strength confidence, but my energy was dropping, and I think that had to do with the calorie deficit that I was in at the time. But I'm telling you, this muscle strength increase that I felt, this muscle confidence strength that I felt, it just felt so internal and deep, where I just am dude, something has to be going on with, just something has to be going on here. And I think it's due to the new supplement I added in, HMB, as I sip on it throughout in my workout. So I'm dude, I gotta keep this going as I'm keeping the cut going. If this is increasing my strength, because that's just gonna help me keep muscle on, if not build muscle as I get leaner, and I'm gonna look even crazier than I even thought I was gonna look. So I'm dude, heck yeah. Oh man, I just can't get over that. And funny story, I remember being so determined to just keep taking this because I felt like it was working for me so well, that when I was going on a trip to Austin, Texas for just 2 days, I'm dude, I don't want to miss supplementing with this, but I don't want to take this whole entire canister with me just in case TSA is you got to throw that away. So I'm I found an old supplement that was expired that I had in the cupboard, and I took the old supplement and I emptied it out, and I remember pouring this on a plate to then create my own capsules of 500 milligrams. So 2 capsules would then be a serving of this. So I would take 6 a day to maintain that 3 gram per day dosage. And I took all those, I made enough, and I put them in a bag, and then took those with me to Austin. Anyway, sorry for the dumb story. All I'm trying to say is I didn't want to jeopardize not taking this for a day, just in case this got taken away from me on the plane, because it's too big of a container or whatever. So I made myself these little serving capsules that I could take with me while I was in Austin to maintain this. That's how much I just was hype about this at the time. Anyways, it was only a quick trip, and when I returned from Austin, I continued with my 3 gram dosage per day. Now, as the next couple of weeks progressed, my lean out phase was progressing, and with all the stuff I was doing to get lean, I started to notice my strength began to decrease, even with this 3 gram dose of HMB per day. So because this seemed to work initially, I figured, let's double the dose. So I ended up taking 6 grams per day, and I basically did this just keeping it simple. I took a 2 gram dose, 2 scoops in the morning, first thing upon awakening, 2 scoops pre-workout, and then 2 scoops in my intra-workout, whether that was just plain water or mixed with some beetroot powder or something like that. Let's go! Oh, man, it stinks. And then upon doing this, on the first day of doing this, I noticed what felt like an increase in strength. That muscle confident strength during my workout. I was dude, heck yes. But this time, it seemed like it was only for that one workout. It didn't really seem like it lasted with me the rest of the week. Also, with this now 6-gram dose a day, I started to smell. At first, it felt like it was just in my nose, right? Like, I'm like, am I just smelling that? Is it just like in my nose? But as I investigated further, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, it wasn't just regular body odor. It was just like, it was like body odor on HMB. Yeah, it's like body odor, but just like ×5 pungency. Like when you smell regular body odor, I feel like it hits me like here, right? But this smell, I feel like was hitting me like here. Does that make sense? Like it also felt like it was emanating from like when I would sweat too. Like it felt like it was coming out of like my sweat glands, which man, it's kind of awful, to be honest with you. So yeah, wearing like a sweatshirt in the gym to like hopefully seal it up, but then, you know, afterwards get to the car and all that hot air, you know, when you sit down, it like pressed out and it's like, but yeah, anyways, the 6-gram dose, I started to notice this like smell emanating from my body, and it was not good. And because it smelled just like that plume smelled like when I opened this container for the first time, like to me, it was like no doubt it had to be from supplementing with a 6-gram dose of this per day. So at that point, I'm at a crossroads. After that first day of that 6-gram dose, the rest of the week, it felt like my strength tapered back down. Like it helped at first, but then it didn't. I was like, dude, this ain't worth it, man. I just need a break, all right? I need a break. So yeah, the smell was that bad. At this point, I decided to actually take a complete break from HMB and stop supplementing with it altogether for at least a week-long period. And it ended up being like about 2 weeks, actually. Now, over the next 10 days, completely off of HMB, it was absolutely noticeable to me. I was significantly weaker in key compound lifts than I was when taking this. So, after the 10 days taking a break from this supplement, I decided, let's start it up again. This time going back into the 3-gram dose, 2 grams in the morning, you know, 1 first thing when I wake up, 1 pre-workout, and then 1 gram intra-workout. And literally the first day I took this like that again after the 10 days off, dude, that muscle confidence felt like it came back. After about several days or so on this dose, a little bit more recently, I started to notice as I'm getting leaner, when I'm flexing in the mirror, what appears like almost like new muscle growth, more so than that I believe I should have just by this lean out phase, right? Like it almost looks like a creatine pump, but like a little bit harder per se. And one could argue that's just muscle growth from the bulk and now the lean out phase, but to me it seems like it kind of came out of nowhere. Now it's nothing like absolutely extraordinary, but it does seem like there's some anabolic action going on, you know, all of a sudden while on a lean out phase. And I'm thinking like my strength went up, and it just, I look like I'm noticing this like new, what looks like new muscle growth. Is it in my head? Is it this? Is this whole entire thing placebo? I definitely don't think so. Some bonus information, I also came across some interesting studies looking at HMB and muscle strength in older individuals. I think it's called sarcopenia, like the loss of muscle tissue. I think when they supplemented with vitamin D and HMB, they noticed an increase in muscle strength in older individuals. Also, there was the supplementation of creatine and HMB together, yielding positive muscle growth results, muscle strength results as well, I believe. You can check into those studies. Very cool, very interesting. Hey, maybe I should pop on the creatine again with this. I think some brands do mix creatine and HMB together because of a potential synergistic effect. Something I might need to look in a little more. So yeah, that is actually where I'm at now. Actually, no, it's not. Where I'm at right now making this video is I just literally started stopping all supplements. I'm gonna stop all supplements. What is wrong with you? Dude, you're all over the place. No, I just feel like all these supplements I've been taking all year long have been added up, and I want at least 2 weeks where I don't take any supplements. So I'm actually gonna stop taking all supplements for 2 weeks throughout the end of December, and then in January 1st, I'm gonna hop back on my favorite supplements, and this one is going to be added to that stack because in my opinion, I felt like this has yielded me some significant results. Oh, by the way, this isn't even HMB, this is actually baking soda. I didn't want to put, I didn't want to put this out on it. Yeah, it looks just like that though. Like it literally looks just like that. Like you can see. Like yeah. Oh man. You have to see like, oh, Yo, what's up guys? So as I'm editing this video, I think there's something very important that I want to point out that you may have already figured out, and that's the fact that throughout this HMB experimentation, I have been in a lean out phase. So I've been leaning out, and that's where I've experienced it potentially helping me with these like spontaneous strength gains, right? But if I was bulking, would it have an additional effect? That I don't know, and in fact a lot of the studies are typically done on people who are experiencing like muscle loss, or I've come across people claiming that it only really helps when they're in a deficit per se. So yeah, for me throughout most of this I was in a deficit, except for like Thanksgiving. And I know I made a video where I said like the cut is over, but I gotta be honest, like after that I was kind of like maybe eating maintenance for a few days, then I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling pretty hype again, and I just kind of want to continue this lean out phase to like feel better before I do anything drastic. So come January 1st, I don't know if I'm gonna like do a light bulk or like main gain, or to be honest, I don't even know exactly what I want to do. So give me a suggestion. What do you think I should do come January 1st? And whether or not HMB will help if I'm bulking, I don't know. Maybe on days where I intermittent fast, because I'll probably still want to intermittent fast here and there. Man, sorry I'm all over the place. I believe this supplement really helped me out when I was in a lean out phase for spontaneously like giving me back this like confident strength. Other than that, when I took it way too high, like I shared in the video, weird emanating smell. Yeah, other than that, no other side effects for me per se. Remember, always do your own research when you want to decide to take a new supplement. Always assume any risk. Anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Hope it was entertaining and informative. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned. More videos coming out. Peace. I will see you all in the next video. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.